back again. This is the Dangerous Minds podcast with your host, Vinnie-Dangerous. And this is episode 3 of the podcast. And just as a special treat, we're a week late because Father's Day was last weekend. But we're back at it again with the special father and son edition of the podcast with my father, Mr. Massadonking.
What's up, everyone?
And before we started, my dad said that this might be the most controversial episode yet, and we might get more of these. If
I don't run y'all away.
I don't know. I think my hardcore fans will really dig what you got to say.
I would hope so. I mean, with this being a father and son type of episode, we're looking at the problems in our community, and one of them is a bridge between fathers and their children, right? Yeah. And I'm always talking to you every time you come down to visit. From the time you hit the door, what we doing? Going over what's going on in the world.
What's going on in music, what's going on in neighborhoods.
Yeah.
In our community. Honestly, I might just take a back seat for this episode. Who knows? I might, because I know. Cause really, most of the time, it's you talking and I'm listening. I'm soaking up the information. I'm taking in the information so I can use it out in the real world.
That's true, but then, like I told you before we started, I said you still got to kind of guide it because I'll get a rant going and the show be going. And they be like, "What the hell is he talking about?" So, but yeah, I know when we talked about it originally, when you started talking about doing the blog, I was like, okay, definitely let me come in, with some of the heavy-handed stuff. Definitely like to reach out to the youth and bridge that gap. And I said, what was the first episode going to be? And I was like, you know what? I had just came up with an idea called Dope Boy Welfare. Mm-hmm. And I was basically just kind of looking at the news and looking at my neighborhood, And I'm in Fayetteville. We call it Fayetteville.
Oh, yeah, and this is a special episode, too. I'm actually back home, finally.
Yeah, definitely.
The third episode, but the first episode right here in Fayetteville.
On the front line where it all started.
So it's only right we start the first father-son podcast because we both grew up in Fayetteville.
Yes.
So we both have seen the changes, the downgrade in the society, honestly. It's never been perfect, but it's really bad out here. Very bad.
And it's because the mentality shifted, because basically our bond is in the music. That's one way when I was living in Dallas and you were still here and I was trying to keep you from falling into those traps. From early on, joining the hip-hop culture, that was what it was for, to keep the kids with something to do and to show positive values. That got lost along when what I call the crack apocalypse hit.
Yeah, J. Cole's trying to revive it, but it's just not too many of us, especially not from, North Carolina in general, but not from Fayetteville, that's really pushing the right messages.
And that's sad, too, because out of everybody, he's the most successful we've ever had. And the opportunity now to unify, you would think people would jump on it like, yo, he's with the biggest entity in music. Outside of who else would be bigger than Jay-Z at this point? Actually, nobody. No.
Yeah, and especially. Yeah. He might be one of the biggest figures the biggest, second biggest figure.
Yeah, I was going to say because Beyonce. Beyonce controls everything, but Jay-Z is definitely the Nancy Reagan to her Reagan.
But seriously, he set the blueprint really for. As far as how you can get into the game and turn it into a business, and it may not be the best. Everything might not have been the best example, but he's the most successful.
That's because he just did the business. We talked about that, and I was like, and that's where the Dope Boy Welfare comes in, and that kind of bridges it. What kills hip-hop and what has always been a problem in the black community is people focusing on business over just wanting to run away from poverty. So you got the opportunity. We're talking about $1 trillion a year business. Hip-hop controls everything. You hear it in every commercial almost, every show. It's a reference everywhere. So that means the money is flowing. how you gonna create something and then get pushed out of it? That's because you're not doing your business.
Yeah.
So TLC, you saw the documentary. I know your age group. That's what y'all saw. I saw it happen, but it wasn't just TLC. Anybody who has an opportunity or people that we work with on the ground floor, we're trying to do business. Business takes time to build. They want it overnight. They want it like Snapchat. It ain't gonna happen like Snapchat. If you get a Snapchat type of career, you're gonna be like Designer.
Yeah, it'll be over as fast
as it started. I mean, who was the guy we was talking about when you were kind of like pointing out to him? Was it Hurricane Chris? Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
And you can't remember no more. He's almost already.
Oh man,
exactly.
I haven't heard that name in years.
And that goes to show. Now, remember when he came out though, you would have sworn he was the biggest thing popping.
Oh yeah, because the song was everywhere.
Everywhere. Who else? Your boy. Currently, when you watch it, what's the boy that had the questionable dance move?
Rich Homie Quan. You talking about Rich Homie Quan?
No, not Rich Homie Quan. But he's almost on his way out. He's struggling to stay in.
Oh yeah, like after. I mean, really don't hear too much from him.
Salento.
Is
that how you say it?
Watch Me.
Yeah, those are perfect examples. But his is purposeful. Most dance music is normally like a one-hit wonder. They don't come back. The days of having like the 69 Boys. Not well.
I'm thinking like
yeah,
because they talk. I remember watching Where Are They Now with him, and it was talking about how
Bust the Move.
It's sad because he said he had other music and he had things that he really wanted to push, but that was the song that everybody wanted. That was the song that, when you hear Young MC, it's okay. We don't really care about nothing else you're doing. Do Bust a Move for us real fast. Okay,
I'm from that era. Young MC, let me explain to you. That was all you had. I heard the album and I was like, "What kind of trash is this?" That was the Young Thug of our era. Okay, he had the one song "Bust a Move." And it was catchy, but literally everything else was even more corny than that was, and you just didn't have the legs to make it. You're not a part of the dynamic of what I'm talking about. You are a one-hit wonder. Okay, what's my boy? What's the one? I just want to get a little bit taller. Oh man, what's that guy's name?
Yeah, I can't remember his
But
name.
everybody knows what we're talking about at any age, because at some point in time you've heard that song.
Yeah.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I
just heard it on the commercial not too long ago.
And so basically, but that guy, when I heard his album, he actually had other songs, at least one or two joints, and they just didn't push it. And they just kind of had that one single, because during that time, the problem we face is something that Public Enemy addressed, and that's why they're still here. When we were real unified, if youngsters would go back into that era of hip-hop and look at when Public Enemy was dominant, and listen to somebody like Paris, go look them up. Go look up X-Clan. I'm going to give y'all some of the good ones because it was garbage conscious rappers out too. But Paris has one of the most powerful albums you can ever hear when he's talking directly to the government, directly to the police, saying, I'm not going to allow you to do my people this way. And then that's when the crack apocalypse hit. This is when Ronald Reagan created what you now love is called street culture. He created that. I call people who still say they're in the street culture, from 2 Chainz to 50 Cent to you name it. Young Thug now, Birdman. These are the bastard children of Ronald Reagan. He created you. He's the original and only dope boy, and the rest of you all are on dope boy welfare. You're living an ideology that literally doesn't exist. It's a social illusion. So, if you don't work, you don't eat. Told my son that a long time ago. You don't work. Work is salvation. And work means you get up and you work towards something to actually happen. What they got you kids believing now is that you can actually smoke weed all day, play the PlayStation all day, sell a little bit of drugs that's dropped in by government officials. They've told you, we are dropping in the drugs. We are building prisons to lock you up in it, and you still line up to go right into this program, and they're telling you this.
Yeah,
That's, to me, that's a shame that they fooled. Even I didn't have a father growing up, and when they were selling crack, I had an option. I could sell drugs too. I could go get Jordans too. I could go but there's nothing coming from that.
Yeah, because there was a lot more money into it then.
Yeah, oh man, that was something else we was talking about. Selling crack, the formula is so easy that anybody could do it. So you're not special to sell drugs. You know, that's like, you know, no offense to anybody who has a job at this place, but just because you can pull the fries out of the grease at McDonald's and scoop them up and put them in that thing, you've achieved holding the job, and I congratulate you. No disrespect at all, because that's a great starter job, and we need those. But at the same time, I'm not going to give you the same respect as I would as somebody who studies coding or somebody who's an electrician who's gotten into a more difficult craft. So the street culture just lives an illusion that they're actually doing something that benefits themselves, when the only thing they're doing is like being little pets for corporate America, who drops the drugs in, NRA drops in the weapons, and all of that. And then they'll say, well, you know, there's a lot of excuses. There's no excuse for you wanting to be a lazy bum. And that's what dope boy welfare allows you to do. It allows you to get a little bit of drugs and go buy a little bit of clothes, buy a car, and there's different levels of dope boyism. I could go through all of that. But the point is, you're really not doing anything. They've reduced you down to a consumer slave.
A lot of people don't have much ambitions anymore. People make fun of the artist or people that want to do something outside of, I guess, in a form of entrepreneurship. Because being an artist, especially, always been, but being an artist now more than ever is about being an entrepreneur, about being a business owner, because you have to take it. Either you're going to sign your soul away to a major label, or you're going to have to get on the grind, and you're going to have to put you basically got to do what you got to do to get your brand out there and get your music out there and products that are associated with your music. You got to get sponsorships and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff is done independently if you really want real freedom.
I think that's a social illusion too. It's like, okay, when I was coming up, if you wanted to get noticed, you had to be at these shows. And then the people in the community, once they saw you, it was so new, there was no internet. So once they saw you, if you were good, it was the music and your art and your ability that spoke volumes. And so we designed that hip-hop and rappers were fighting to be creative and create new styles. And when they dropped the dope in and then literally stopped playing conscious music or music that was telling you what was really going on, what's really happening in your community and what to watch out for. That's all it was doing. And, the white media controlled it all. And they shut out a lot of other people. Now, this is when there was no internet. So when you get magazines that you think are black-owned, they're not. They're white-owned. And then they're telling you that conscious music is boring. They're telling you this. And instead of a lot of people having their own mindset, they just went with what was ever popular, whatever's on TV.
Yeah.
And that killed us. That destroyed the entire concept. So then when a brother invented the internet, whether he knew it or not, he broke the mold on that. He broke the hold they had on white media's ability to just say, this is all you can see. But by that time, the youth actually believed that being an idiot, and I don't care how you take that, but if you don't want knowledge, if you don't want to build your own something, and you just want to play all day, have sex all day, smoke all day, it's what I call addict hop. You're just an addict, Literally, what was the song? Kodak Black and French Montana got the Lockjaw. And then all in the song, they talking about drinking and smoking, and I'm not tripping on that. I ain't saying don't party, have fun, be responsible. But at the same time, he's saying I'm not, what do you say? How do you say? My jaw? I'm not talking.
Like it's hard. It's hard to understand me because my jaw keep locking.
Yeah, hard to understand me because my jaw keep locking. That's from doing certain drugs like Molly's, So knowing that, and that's what we do. I study the game. I study your lyrics. I'm going to study what you're talking about and what you're spreading. And then you got the other phenomenon, which is gay men acting heterosexual, talking down to black women. And got you to believe that being a prostitute is successful. Now I got Cardi Black, or is it, no, Cardi B?
Yeah, Cardi B.
Cardi B, heard her mixtape. She actually had some pretty decent songs. That song she was talking about, something about a trick. That was...
Oh, really? I haven't heard it.
Oh, man. I had to listen to it. And, you know, that's why I tell you, I listen to trash. I listen to all of it. I want to know I want to know what my kids might be exposed to. Yeah. I want to understand how you transform the slang that we created, you know, and, you know, what does it mean now? You know, from the slave, from working in the cotton field and coming up with different hymns and sending code, that's all it is. So if you speak in slang and you say Molly, if you say twerk, if you say whatever it is, it don't matter. Swag, which y'all hate now. Finally, I'm glad. It just translates. What's the new word they got? Skirt. You know, that's not even a word. Y'all just got noises now. And that's like, you know, I got to go back to some bestiality shit.
So it's like grunting like cavemen. And
yeah, you know.
That way.
Yeah, you know, they bringing you down in the music. And, you know, that's why I told Dwight, I said, I don't know about this being a 30-minute show. Because it's just so layered that me by myself, I could explain it, but you have to take it in segments. But, you know, my patience is so short right now, you know. Yeah. To try to
talk about the frustration of just the music and how it's affecting everybody in general. You see that,
but that they can't see it though. That's the part that how do you not see it? But they don't see it.
And that's the frustrating part is that we're trying to tell. And it's a lot of factors. It could be the music. It could be religion. It could be how the media got them like they see something on the news or they hear something from this politician or this person supposed to be an analyst on TV, and they give them a lot more credit than if you tell them.
Exactly.
But then later down the line, they find out that you're right, but it's too late now. If we would have been organized, if we would have we would have took the word of our brother or our elder versus this person that's on TV that's most likely feeding us lies.
Well, but that's a byproduct of the Ronald Reagan dope boy welfare program. Because if your father believed back then that 50 Cent, what's my boy from Philly? Oh, man.
Freeway?
Freeway.
Yeah.
He's one of them, but I was actually thinking about the dude that was writing for Lil Wayne. Because you can bridge the one he got in the beef with.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Gilly the Kid.
Gilly the Kid. Now, you just looking at, he's like the father. These are like the fathers of the people that you're looking at now.
Yeah.
And only thing that they were doing was ghostwriting. You know what I mean? They didn't. The industry said, we don't want you. We need a young man to do it. Yeah. So they write for him. Jay-Z made a lot of his money ghostwriting.
Yeah, I didn't know. I learned that from you recently that he was writing R&B songs.
Yeah.
He was writing for other people, like penning. Like I know he wrote that song for Dre on the Blueprint too. And I thought, I just wouldn't have thought that Jay-Z of all people was a ghostwriter for somebody. But then that's one of the ways you get into the game a lot of times.
I think that's pretty much what we saw as the reason why they got married. It was a perfect business. Jay-Z gets with the biggest star, gets her in control of her royalties away from her father, and then he turns around and starts putting together stuff like, what's the song they had? I wanna.
Is it something old or something recent?
This is like Destiny's Child when they still were together with Michelle, and they had that song with Lil Wayne.
Soldier.
Yeah. That sound like something that Jay-Z would write. The songs on Lemonade, some of the songs on there sound like something that Jay-Z would write.
Yeah.
Beyonce definitely went more street than before. She was straight pop when she was originally in the game.
Yeah.
But she started becoming more street, and now, what did she? She said something in one of her newest videos. It was real street. Even the whole Becky with the good hair line.
Yeah.
That's a Jay-Z.
That's the first thing I thought about, but I didn't know if that was the one you were talking about.
It'd be stuff. So you can't think in the masculine way. You got to think in what would a female say.
But that's still I hear more women say, some along that line than I would hear a man say something like that.
But nowadays, because they flip the script.
Yeah.
And it's more so dynamic of You turn on the radio. Just turn on the radio. You don't even listen to the radio.
Nah, I remember when my radio broke, and like the tape player and the tape player where I put the adapter in, or my CD player, they both just died out on me, respectively. And then I just had to deal with the radio. This is when Rich Homie Quan was on the radio, real heavy, and I heard that song and the song he did with Young Thug at least like 6 times a day. And this is not even like riding around all day or anything like that. This is me getting up in the morning, I go to work, I might get in my car for my lunch break to drive off somewhere if I didn't already bring my lunch, and then to go home, maybe stop by the store or something like that along those lines. And in those maybe like 4 times I sit in my car to drive somewhere, I'm hearing this song at least twice each time I'm in the car.
Yeah. Even your brothers say that, and they're like, "Damn, didn't we just hear this song?" You turn from 99 to 104, and you still hear the same song. Like, as if they on the same time frame of when they got to play the song. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, because Viacom owns all the radio stations.
Like, I was talking to this radio DJ in Raleigh. His name's Wade Banner, and he was telling me about. I asked him that question. I'm not even gonna ask for my personal music, but just like, why don't y'all play more things? Because there's stuff that I hear you play when you're out in functions and events and things like that. That, I mean, they might not be my cup of tea, but at least if you have a little bit more than just these 6 songs that you play 6 times a day, then I would be like, okay, because if this is something that's popular, it's getting a good response, I mean, you could, but he said he got these program directors, and, I mean, because you said it best to me a while back that, the radio used to be about the music and just had commercials. Now the music is the commercials for the commercials, for the advertising, because they want you to listen to this radio so you can listen to these people, to these advertisers, which used to be the other way around. They knew people were listening to the radio, so they wanted their advertisements played in between that to get noticed, because they know people wanted to listen to the music. Now it's almost like the opposite. It's the other way around. It's flipped to where the music is pretty much background noise towards.
But I don't even think that is music anymore. I mean, the formula literally is in every single song. I sell drugs. I do drugs. Women are bitches. Women are hoes. And on top of that, I bought these new Jordans. I bought this new car. You want to know the type of car it is? It's an X6. It's a Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? What was we just listening to? A$AP Rocky, Lamborghini High. That's all about them driving Lamborghinis. If you listen to all rappers in that song, they talk about what they smoked, what they drunk. Women's was bitches. They was passing them around. And then they had a car out front. The dude literally said the so-and-so car is parked outside. Yeah. That's infomercials. Rappers are infomercials now. Yeah. And so, and then it's either they're selling drugs all the time, like 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz, people, they can say what they want, and he has a degree. Like a lot of you kids out here who not even trying to think about school, that's another thing. A lot of these people you're listening to have business degrees, and they have marketing degrees. And I have a marketing background. I ain't gonna say the degree. I went to Art Institute of Dallas. I didn't, but they basically taught me in that environment how colors affect you, how music affects you. So these people are purposely creating this content with a desired effect. And I know that when they start talking about, what's the girl's name? Oh, man. It was a girl. Matter of fact, I'll just go to Dej Loaf. Yeah. Okay, Dej Loaf is a perfect example. She came out as a gangster. She killed, and that song that she had, I couldn't even let my kids listen to it. The first one that came out,
Try Me?
Yeah. Try me, I'll kill your whole fucking family. I was like, damn. Yeah. She was over the top. She went off. But then she came back after that song, and she went Rihanna style. She came out with a bra.
And all of a sudden now she's all film and glammed up.
But they dropped her. She got silent. So when you fall off, you got to do what you got to do to get back on. So that's pimping going on. You know what I'm saying? The same way your boy Rat Face. What's Rat Face name from?
Rat Face.
Yeah, the producer Stevie J with the Rat Face.
Oh yeah.
Jocelyn and his so-called baby mama are all his bottom hoes.
Yeah.
And it's been talked about for a long time. Even finally just coming out now that she even admitted that they were all together at one point. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so everybody's thinking that she's a good woman and she's trying her hardest and she's doing what she can for her child. And then next thing you know, she's with this dude and that dude and this weirdo. And then she with a lesbian. And you're like, what? And then, oh, my bad. And she oopsie daisy did a porno, but it was but who was holding the camera,
Yeah.
And so if they can, I just want to say to the kids, I don't want you to be that gullible.
Yeah.
That's really what it all comes down to. Don't let these folks in white media make you look like this big of an idiot that you believe everything they put in front of you. You don't question it.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne kissed Birdman on national television, and you really think he has a girlfriend?
Or a young thug who wear dresses, but the fact that he's, lounged up with women and pictures on Instagram and he's supposedly engaged to a girl at one point. So now all of a sudden he's, now all of a sudden we're going to just forget that he's wearing makeup and nail polish and stuff like that.
Exactly. Young men, please pull your pants up. Thank God for this platform. Just so if I don't talk about nothing else, young black men talking about a fashion statement of wearing your underwear in public. In the era where the biggest movement out of any other movement that you've ever heard of is the homosexual movement. That means they're up on the forefront.
Yeah.
TV, watch it, LBG, they have their own channels, they have everything. Young black boys, the only people who are looking at your butt when you're walking down the street with your drawers out are homosexual men.
Unless you're into that sort of thing, I really don't think that's the attention you want.
No. Even homosexual men don't dress that way.
Yeah. That's the funny part.
But that's what I'm saying. Who started it though? Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
From what I recollect,
No.
Who started that?
Sagging pants that was way back.
No. See, sagging pants and wearing your drawers out is not the same.
Yeah.
That's another misconception.
So, I guess you can lump all those artists like around that time.
But you have to. It's a point of origin, as they say. It's an impact point. And like I said, they try to get y'all with Lil Wayne kissing Birdman in the mouth, and y'all had all the stories that came out about him kissing Birdman, and the pictures coming out.
I guess you could say that was all of the hot boys then. They had because I remember that from the Bling Bling video.
They had their drawers out in the Bling.
Yeah,
okay.
White beater shirts, jeans, and then they had their drawers hanging out.
Okay. Now there's a difference between when the pants.
I'm talking about all the drawers was all the way out.
We gonna pull that up. We gonna pull that up.
I swear that was the first time I remember seeing it.
Because it started out, sagging your pants was basically where we would wear our pants a little bit lower under the belly button. So we wouldn't be looking like stuffy old white folks. That's just being real. We didn't want to look like y'all stuffiness, looking like Lever the Beaver, and looking like Ward Cleaver, looking like the Brady Bunch. I didn't want to look like that. All right. So we developed a fashion style where we would wear but we had our shirts tucked in or they were long. So the pants bunched up at the bottom. That was the effect we were going for. The pants bunching up at the bottom. Then even when we wore T-shirts, stuff like that, it may be not so, I'm not a medium guy wearing a double XL shirt. They had that. I wasn't into that. That was always the weirdest thing. Looked like a miniature midget walking around in his daddy's clothes. You know what I'm saying? Well, who is this toddler? We're
gonna have to wrap up.
See, that's why I said, man. I told you this stuff is later.
I should have went ahead and added more time. But any final words?
Basically, hip hop is basically about love and unity, and that's the main thing. One thing that kills us is that we don't have a business mindset. Please get your mind together. Playing all day, being PlayStation is not going to help you. Please pull your pants up. That's the wrong attention you're attracting. Women don't really want that. They want you to build your mind and not show off your booty like they show off their breasts and their brassieres and stuff. That's it, man. Turn the hood around.
All right, let's do it. This has been the Dangerous Mind Podcast. This is Vinnie-Dangerous,
Massadonking,
and we out.
Peace.